at the St. Regis Canoe Outfitters before getting out on the lake. Gonna get some ice cream real quick. Got a whole bunch of stuff in here. They do canoe rentals, but it looks like most of them are sold out. Got my ice cream sandwiches before heading out. I'll head down and shoot down to the lake. Start paddling out of here. Walking down to the put-in. This is where we carry the canoes after unpacking our cars. Got my brother and my friend Mike down here waiting for me because I had to go get ice cream. This is Lights on the Water in the Adirondacks of New York State. We are here at the St. Regis Canoe Wilderness area. This is a map I'm going to be using today. And if I can get this out. We parked up here by campsite 12, which is right next to the Adirondack Outfitters. I'm going to go up there and get some ice cream. We're going to be camping down here on this island. And today we're going to attempt to paddle down around Floodwood Pond, down Fishcreek. And we're going to see how far we go today. We might take the pond here and do this portage and come around. Or we might come down Fishcreek, turn around and go back up. Or we might come down all the way around Fishcreek Pond and Rollins by Clear Pond and come all the way around. This long trip takes about 6 hours. This shorter one takes about 4 or 5. This one we could probably do that in 3 hours. Just guessing. But we're going to give it a shot. Should be a beautiful Saturday. Weather's really nice. We'll see what she gives us. So I'm here at the island where we're camping. Our camp set up top. Got Mike's extra boat. He's gonna ride in the kayak today. So Mike and Sean got here Thursday night and got the island. There's a lot of people here, so if they didn't get here Thursday, there's a pretty good chance that we wouldn't have gotten the campsite that we wanted. I had to work Thursday, so I came Friday morning. Today is Saturday. It is absolutely beautiful out today. Got some really nice weather. And we'll see how far we can go. We went to the Adirondack Outfitters, got some ice cream, came back to the island, grabbed a few things that we needed, sunglasses and charger for the phone, and now we are on our way over to Fishcreek. And it should be about maybe a 15-minute paddle to get over there from the campsite. Let's see how many people we run into today. So because there's so many people here and the dog has a little bit of anxiety, my brother had to turn back and go back to the campsite. So he'll hold down the campsite and keep the fire going and make sure that everything's cleaned up and ready to go for when we get back and have dinner. Mike and I are going to trail on and see how far we go. It's pretty hot today, depending on how warm we get and how tired our arms get. We might turn back, go back to the camp. We might go all the way around. Guess you're just gonna have to watch to find out what we do. I really do want to go all the way around though. It is really nice out. And this is my first and possibly my only camping trip this whole summer. Work has been pretty busy this year. Probably get a couple more trips in. Definitely did get lucky with the weather today. Tuesday and Wednesday when we were looking at the weather, it's supposed to rain all weekend. And then yesterday the weather changed for the better. And this is what we're dealing with. I'd actually be okay with a little sprinkle. Cool it down a little bit. So way over there is the entrance to Fishcreek. And that's where we're headed. So when you're heading down over here towards Fishcreek, there's a couple campsites. And the openness of those two campsites makes it feel like you can go down that way. But you can't. You gotta stick over to the right and hug the shoreline almost so that you can enter the mouth of Fishcreek here. From our camp, it only took us maybe 15 minutes to get here. There's gonna be a lot of people coming up and down this creek. There's another hornbeck boat. That's what I'm currently paddling, is a hornbeck. Here in the Adirondacks, a lot of people have hornbecks. Alright, here's the mouth of Fishcreek. There's always been a lot of driftwood and always a lot of rocks in here. With a Kevlar canoe, you kind of want to be careful. Not that this area is difficult to paddle through, but Kevlar doesn't do too good on sharp rocks. They're pretty durable. They are pretty durable boats, but I've got a fair share of love scratches and love marks on the bottom of mine. Water moves at an okay speed. And definitely feel the difference once you enter the creek. You can feel the water moving, but very easy to paddle up if you need to paddle upstream. Last year I was here, and early spring. It was a beautiful weekend, but it snowed in the morning. We got a nice half-inch dusting of snow on everything. There was just snow on all the trees and all the rocks and the logs, and it was just so serene and beautiful. I'll probably put that in a mixed video down the road. I'll put that in there so everybody can see what it looks like with a little bit of snow on everything. I'll lift up the camera here, get a different perspective. So right now the camera is sitting about the same height as my head. I'll go right underneath this bridge. Plenty of room, but that gives you an idea of how high the bridge is compared to where I'm sitting. And hear people in the woods walking around on the trails. Fishcreek and the St. Regis Canoe area around Floodwood Loop. Very popular area. Campgrounds, New York State campgrounds at the end of Fishcreek. Got some more people coming, so I'll shut off the camera. Now we got past some people, start recording a little bit more. They asked me what my screen was for. I let them know that I was recording for my YouTube channel, Lights on the Water in the Adirondacks. It's definitely one of the most relaxing and peaceful creeks you can paddle. That's very easily accessible. Lots of put-ins, lots of campsites. Not too far away from Long Lake and Tupper Lake. A lot of dragonflies, little blue skinny dragonflies. My brother still hasn't made it down Fishcreek. The first time he gets to see it, it's going to be in a video from YouTube on my channel. There are other channels out there that have posted videos. Not sure any of their names, but I've definitely seen quite a few of them. It's one of the reasons why I found out about this place, watching YouTube videos. Hear the birds chirping. Last night sleeping, I just had two bullfrogs having an argument amongst each other for hours. All they did was croak at each other. Oh, there's a big trout. I just saw a big trout. That was nice. That was pretty cool. There's another little one. Now we just got done with the first section of Fishcreek. So if I can get this to lay flat, we went from our campsite here down around Floodwood Pond and down this first section. And now I'm sitting right around here in this outlet, and we're going to go across Little Square Pond and continue down Fishcreek until we get down to around Square Pond. We'll see what Mike wants to do when we get a little bit further. So here we are crossing Little Square Pond. It can get a little choppy right here sometimes, like when the wind blows, cuts across this little square pond of water, and at the end of the lake over here, the waves can get decent sized, and they're always coming from your side because you got to cross it in order to continue down Fishcreek. It's not a long paddle, only maybe 3 minutes to get across it, but when the wind's blowing hard and the waves are big, that's a long 3 minutes. Now we are entering the next inlet for Fishcreek. We're exiting Little Square Pond. Lots of white lily flowers everywhere. So many of them. Last year I ended up paddling this section with Liz in the dark. It was very dark out and we couldn't see anything. Every once in a while you could see a spotlight from a fireplace, fire pit at a campsite. Lots of dogs were barking. All these white lily flowers here. See if I can get a close-up shot. So the year I got my hornbeck boat, Liz and I came out here to see Mike. He got a campsite for a trip that he went on, and we just came up here for a quick day trip and brought Jasmine, my dog. And right here there's a whole bunch of people, and my dog decided to jump out of my boat, the hornbeck boat that I'm sitting in right now, and sink me. And we ended up using these logs right here in order to get out. Liz had to scurry around in her boat and pick up all my stuff floating in the water. I got very wet. Good learning experience. I learned that my dog is too big to take on my hornbeck boat. Because of that, I ended up getting a 17-foot Winona, and we've taken Jasmine out on that, and it is much more stable. Much more relaxing when you can sit in a boat and not worry about tipping and sinking. I've probably been here, I don't know, maybe 10, 15 times. I'm not really sure. It's one of my favorite spots, one of Mike's favorite spots. And my brother really likes this area, although he has not explored it as much as Mike and I have. Yeah, some more driftwood up here. Keep seeing a bunch of fish swimming in the water. Yeah, when Jasmine put me in the water, she sank my boat. It was really, really cold. The water was cold. another lily garden of flowers. I think Mike might have taken the shortcut and gone straight through. I went around the corner. We're getting towards the end of Fishcreek here, coming up to the pond. Once you see the buoys there, you know you're getting over by the New York State campground. I believe that's the New York State campground. I hear people driving over the bridge. Not sure why they put these buoys and these floating walls in the water. I'd like to figure out why they do that. I don't know if it's to keep bigger boats out, or if it's to slow down seaweed or pollution from the campsite, or I'm not exactly sure what it is for. Maybe one day I'll find out. I'll ask a park ranger if I see one. I'll go up here to the campsite ground and get out of the boat, walk around for a few minutes, stretch our legs, get our back straight, and then we'll continue on from there. Still haven't really determined exactly what we're going to do. I guess we'll find out when we get back. Well, here we are at the campsite's boat launch. It's a really nice campsite. I usually don't pay to stay at a New York State campgrounds though. It's where the DEC guy's supposed to be. And we're pretty sure that he is in the woods back there in his hammock sleeping. He's hiding in the woods, sleeping over there. Here we got Adirondack brook trout. I'll leave this here for a second so you can pause it if you want to read the whole thing. Species in decline. And then we got our board here. I'll come up and let everybody read everything if they want. This is the legend. It's really foggy. It's really hard to read even in person. Looks like they need to replace the plexiglass. Protect the waters from invasive species. Protect the loons. Really hard to read through this plastic. rules and regulations. You can't even read it. If I can push it. Well, this is the campsite. Campgrounds, the boat launch area, picnic area. Oh, here comes the boat. So this campsite, boat launch is right here at the end of Fishcreek. There's some bathrooms up here. Mike's checking them out. He's got to go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna take a 15-20 minute break and then continue paddling. I think we're gonna come back up and then come back through and come around back up to the campground. Well, I'll see what happens. So we're heading back upstream, going over to that Coparis Pond, I think it's called. I'm going to do a little portage over to Whey Pond, and then head over to Rollins Pond. Coming back up Fishcreek, probably saw 15 or more boats going past us. A lot of people out here today. I don't think I've seen an empty campsite yet. Out of all the campsites we've gone by, I don't think I saw a single one that is open and available. If you're gonna come here during the summer, you definitely want to get here on a Thursday so that you can try to lock down the campsites that you want. Best time to come is early spring, late fall. Late fall is really nice because you get all the leaves changing colors and all the animals are active trying to get ready for hibernation. And with the colder weather, you don't see anybody out here. Alright, I'll be back with another update once we get a little further down our journey. So right now we're at this campsite and we're gonna go down this little inlet into Cooper's Pond. There's that campsite right there, and then there's the stick marker that we got to go around to enter that pond. So we're gonna go that way. So here's our inlet marker. A lot of lily pads in here. Just coast right through them. Sometimes going over the lily pads like this can stir up a lot of bugs. You end up getting a face full of flies and mosquitoes and every other bug that likes to fly around in your face. Oh, this looks like a nice little pond. Nice little inlet here. I'm gonna shoot over here and see if there's anybody at this campsite. Should be on my right. Probably is. I haven't seen an empty campsite yet. There's gonna be an empty one. Good chance this might be one of them. Let's see here. I do see somebody paddling. I think there's only 2 campsites on this entire lake. This campsite should be right here on the right. But I don't see it. Don't see a campsite marker. Usually a campsite marker would be here in the trees somewhere. But I'm not seeing it nowhere. Let's see if it's over here behind this pine. I really don't see a spot where somebody would camp. Probably already passed it, just missed it. We'll continue on over to our portage. Ah, look at that. We found it. And there's the tree marker for the campsite. I don't see any boats and I can't see any camping gear anywhere. So let me climb out. I'll climb up and show you the campsite. Okay, so there we are at this campsite, Cooper's Pond. I'll go ahead and climb up and see how it is here. Oh, not too bad. Doesn't look like anybody's camped here in a while. Not a tripping hazard. Yeah, nobody's camped at this site in quite some time. It's a little out of the way. That's why. There's a sign for the privy. For anybody that doesn't know, a privy is a box in the ground that you can go to the bathroom in. It's always an experience. So there's the box. In the middle of the woods, who needs privacy? But that's as close as I'm going to get to it. I'll only use them if I really have to go. Alright, so we're going to stretch our legs for 10 minutes and then we're going to head back out and continue. But this doesn't look like a bad campsite. And it doesn't look like people use it very often. Something that Mike had mentioned is there really isn't any good flat ground. It looks like this ground right here is flat, but it's really not. It's pretty bumpy. Some roots in there and stuff, but it looks like it's a better campsite for hammock camping. For a tent, there's maybe one or two spots you can put a small tent, but nothing really significant. Much better hammock spot. Like I said, nobody uses it, so if you come out here and it's really busy and you can't find a camp spot, this might be a good spot to check. It's as busy as it gets here today and nobody's here. Alright, so we're leaving the campsite now. There was quite a few mosquitoes in there. So it was a nice 5-minute break. Get our legs stretched. Some blood circulation back in the bottom of our bodies. Back out on the lake we go. Turn around real quick. Catch up to Mike over there. And we have, once we get across this in about 2 minutes, we have a 528 meter long portage. So that'll be a good leg stretch over there at least. I just wanted to show a campsite that wasn't taken. I wish Liz could have been here with me today. She would have really enjoyed this trip. Yesterday it only rained for about 10 minutes, and today has been sunny, warm, partly cloudy or overcast, but so far it's been a really good trip. So here's our takeout for a 528 meter portage. This will be a good one. Not the longest portage here, and definitely not the shortest. All right, let me get out of my boat. So we just did our 528 meter, which really isn't too bad. We got some fishing directions posted up here on the tree. Use or possession of fish as bait prohibited. You guys can pause that and read the rest. Nice little put in. You got some steep steps here. So after doing 528 meters with a whole bunch of camping gear, stepping down this may be a tripping hazard. This is Whey Pond or Whey Pond or Whey Pond or however everybody feels like pronouncing it. This is our put in. We're just going to go straight across. Once we get straight across, we're going to be at the 177. And then we're going to go around up to Rollins Pond. We're pretty sure that we can paddle through that, and we're not going to have to do that 227 meter. But after we do that 227 meter, we'll be coming back to our island campsite. All right, time to head out. All right, here we go. We're leaving our last carry. And across the pond we go. We have a nice head-on breeze, some wind blowing right in our faces. Feels good, along with the heat. Warm, but it's not too hot. No clue what the temperature is. What do you think it is?
Outside?
Temperature.
Somewhere around 80.
Say 78 to 84, somewhere in there.
Pretty humid too.
Yeah, and it's humid. It's always humid when you're in the evaporation zone of a lake. All right, continue on to our portage. We are getting closer. We can now see the portage sign at the trailhead. I don't know if you can see it in the camera. They're getting close to the put-in. Got a family of maybe loons or some ducks. You can see them swimming underneath the water. Oh, let me zoom into them so you can see them better. There we go. Yeah, it's a family of loons. They're a protected species here. They're pretty familiar with canoers and campers out here, but they dive underneath the water and swim. And they fly across the surface of the water, making a lot of noise. Those are the babies. That's mama. I'm surprised they're actually letting me get this close. There's the babies again. I'll zoom in even closer. Looking for fish. I'm gonna dive underneath the water and go get one. Oh, there he goes. They're very good fishers. They fish all day long. You see these guys over here chasing the feeder fish, really small minnows. get going. I could stay here all day. They're comfortable birds. They know we're not going to hurt them. They are a protected species here in the Adirondacks. Alright, back to it. Oh, I gotta turn around and head back over here. Looks like Mike already made it over to the other side, but here's the canoe carry to Rollins Pond. Let's see, this is a short one. Alright, let's see here. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we just went through the 177 meter portage. Now we're at this boat launch here on Rollins Pond. We're going to continue up and through and get to our island. Should be the last portage we have to do. We're hoping that we can paddle through that little spot there. And this is the boat launch. They've got a lot of boats here. They do rentals right here. And off we go. Mike's waiting for me. Alright. And continue down Rollins Pond. They can have up to 25 horsepower motors on their boats on this water. So I tend to stick closer to the shore, especially when it's really busy. I've never seen how many boats are out here in the summer, so we're about to find out. Definitely is quite a few campsites on Rollins Pond. A lot of people in here. Got their campers all set up in there. There's a little motorized boat right there. Looks like one of those folding boats. Put a motor on it. Kind of neat. This is something you can just fold up and pack away in the back of your pickup truck. A foldable foldable John boat. Keep paddling here. Got quite a ways to go still. That's our opening into bigger water. About halfway across Rollins Pond. Air is dead calm. There is no wind at all. If there is, it's a very slight breeze. If it was windy, this water could get pretty choppy, I'm sure.
7 miles.
So far we've done 7 miles. Mike has the GPS on his phone tracking what we're doing, so we'll know exactly how long it took and how far we went. Seven miles isn't that bad. We actually did it really slow. I'm gonna see the campground. I'll turn sideways. It's to my right. So there's the campground beach. Let's see here. I'll zoom in. 10 times zoom. There's the people, and there's flotation devices. That's really far away. I got camps all the way around the lake. Sounds like we got a dog fight over there. Alright, back to regular. Yes, there's somebody way out there ahead of me. I'm going to stop videoing and continue on my way. Mike's a little bit ahead of me. I'm going to go catch up to him. Starting to get close to the end here. The end of Rollins Pond. The guys that we just passed said that the little stream there is all waterfalls. Might not be able to paddle it. So we might have to do a 227 meter portage. But we'll stay hopeful and see if we can paddle it or not. We'll take a look at it, see what's going on. But we're getting close. A lot of kids playing over there in the water. Pretty warm. I'm sweating pretty good. Alright, here we go. Alright, coming around the corner. Let's see what we have over here. If I were to guess, we probably have 250 more meters before we get over to that little stream inlet. So I'm heading over that way, and right now I'm right about that peninsula right there. We're gonna see if we can get down that little stream, see what it looks like when we get there. All right, I'm gonna sit here in the sun and wait for Mike. This looks like it might be the little stream. I'm not seeing the sign anywhere for the portage. Supposedly there's a 227 meter portage right here somewhere, but we should be able to paddle down it. Mike says there's rocks, so if I break my boat, it's his fault. Nah, this water doesn't look like it's moving too fast, but we'll see what it's like a little further down. Finally, we're in the shade. Feels nice and cool over here. Doesn't sound like there's any campsites over here either. I don't hear anybody. Oh, there's the portage. There's the portage right there. If we have to, we'll turn around and come back. Oh, fish just jumped right in front of me. I don't know if I got that on
Once you get to about those branches, I would start slowing down.
camera or not. I didn't see any warning signs.
Yeah, you don't get any warning signs.
I'm gonna let Mike with the plastic boat go through first.
Oh, this is way easier than last time.
Now you go ahead. I'll get you on camera doing this.
Take it slow.
I don't like putting love marks on my boat. Yeah? Am I good? All right. That don't look too bad, but there's quite a bit of rocks underneath that water. Let's see if I can get past without scratching anything here. Doing good so far. Well, if that was the hardest thing I got to deal with, that wasn't too bad. With my Old Town boat, which I don't have anymore, I sold it. It wouldn't matter. I just run right through it, no problem. Bouncing off everything. That boat can take it. A little strip line here, moving pretty quick. So we're doing this instead of a 227 meter portage, which I believe we're almost done with. That was easier than going down that one spot on the Oswegatchie Traverse or Oswegatchie River. I bounced my boat off of several rocks and got a couple scratches on the bottom of my boat from that one. Yeah, that was not bad at all. Alright, so now we're entering Floodwood Pond, which is where our campsite is. Next official stop will be our campsite. Just came around the first bend. How about to have a camp in a spot like this? I wouldn't want to work in the summer anymore. I want to go to camp. Water is nice and calm. The railroad tracks is right to my left. I think they turned it into like a rail trail, or where you can walk it, or maybe even ride those little self-propelled railroad carts. I'm not really sure. Or it just might be an abandoned railroad track. I don't think it's used anymore for actual trains. I'm pretty sure straight ahead of me is my island. I'll know once I get further out there. I do believe that is my island right there. So I'm gonna keep paddling. Coming around the corner of my island where I have my campsite set up. Not really my island, but 2 more minutes of paddling, I'll be there. I'm gonna sit down, make some dinner. I got some steak, some mashed potatoes. I got some milk on ice. Definitely a good trip. Okay, so we're back at the campsite. This is a recap of our trip. We parked here and then camped here overnight. And this morning we left our campsite, went down through Floodwood, pond, down Fishcreek, and came all the way down Fishcreek. We got to the boat launch down here in Fishcreek Pond Public Campground, and then we headed back up Fishcreek and across this little inlet across the pond, and we took this 528 meter portage and crossed Whey Pond, went across this 177 meter portage to the boat launch where they're renting all the boats. Then we went up Rollins Pond, shot down this little stream instead of going down the 227 meter portage, and then back up to our campsite. Now we're here at our camp. Mike and Sean set up my setup, and we are about to cook some food on the fire. Got a little rain this morning, Sunday, and I'm all packed up, ready to go. I got the morning fog just lifting off the lake a little bit here, and I got about maybe 5-10 minute paddle across the lake in order to get to the put in where I have got my car parked. Most people around the lake are still sleeping. It's nice and peaceful and quiet. I love the morning calm of the water. Just feels so peaceful. Well, this is Lights on the Water. I'll see you next time.